If you want to get ahead within Ultimate Team, the best thing that you can do is start trading. But with that said, depending when you do decide to trade, you may either find it easier compared to others, or it will be slightly more difficult, because it does vary when you do start trading. There are certain events that could happen which make it so much more difficult for you to buy and sell players for profit. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down some of the best times in which you should be trading. But before we do get into the video, if you want to push ahead without needing to trade, then there is no better place than U4GM. They offer cheap, fast and reliable FC24 coins so that you don't need to sweat it out. There is a link in the description down below, and to make this deal even better, if you use code Fanatic, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Thank you U4GM for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back into it. Firstly, I do want to highlight the importance of trading. With every single game that you play within Ultimate Team, it will last anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes depending whether or not you're going into squad battles, which has been reduced this year for the half lengths, or whether or not you're going to go into division rivals and end up coming up against an opponent who watches every single replay. But at the end of that match, you're going to get anywhere between 500 to 900 coins. That is not good value for your time. Now, of course, what cancels this out is that you can get additional rewards with division rivals, your weekly rewards, squad battle weekly rewards, and an immediate payout with champions playoffs and champions final. But even then, it's still a lot, and you can make a hell of a lot more just by trading, even if you take some of the most simplest trading methods available. But there are some days where you're able to make more coins and find more deals than other days. Typically, the weekend, Wednesday, and also Friday end up being the best days in terms of trading. The reason for this is because of what else is going on within Ultimate Team. With the weekend, we go through weekend league, so therefore, once people complete their 20 games, whether they're forfeiting everything just to claim the rewards, or if they're going through it legit, at the end, they are going to get tradable rewards. Those packs get opened, thus increasing the amount of players in the market, and as a trader, you can go through and buy up those players whilst everyone else is still going through the weekend league. With any big name players that were introduced as part of the promo from the following week, which is still within packs, they also see a slight dip. It may not be anything too crazy, but you'll see a percentage difference in their price over the weekend by Monday morning due to people opening packs, being able to pack these players and then sell them onto the transfer market because they would much rather have the coins than the player itself. Similarly to this, we also have Wednesday and Friday, which is for the same reason. And this is normally various promos. Out of the 2 days, Friday ends up being better because we end up getting a better promo compared to Team of the Week, which is released on Wednesday. But we still see a difference. There is an increase in the amount of people opening packs. There are actually some people who will save their rewards over the weekend and from other game modes to open them during a time when the promo offers good players or the Team of the Week is better than normal. However, with all of that said, just because these days are better to trade, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good to trade all day, because there are also specific times, and those times are normally around 6 PM UK. Reason for this is because this counts as prime time and has always counted as prime time. This is when the day within Ultimate Team resets. We get new daily objectives, new challenges, new content, and of course, new packs. What's actually interesting is that 6 PM is not just good because EA decide to release content at this time. It's in fact, EA is forced to release at this time due to this being when Ultimate Team, as well as gaming in general, is most popular. Bear in mind, people either have school, college, university, work, whatever it may be, from the moment they wake up all the way to about 4, 5, maybe even 6 PM. It's at that point in which content gets released, and those who have finished work to sit down, relax at home, hop onto Ultimate Team to start playing. EA has strategically released these rewards and set this content up to release at a time in which their game is most popular. So you get peak conditions for the most amount of people playing. You then have a peak condition for EA releasing content, and because they've released content, you can then go through, start buying up players, start trading with them, start selling, and start getting your coins in. With all of this said though, if you don't have the time to trade on the best possible days or trade at the best possible times, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. You should still be trading because this is the best way to push your club forward. And what's interesting is that even though these are the best days and times of the week, there's actually something a lot bigger. This is once we get close to major events. Whatever EA plans to do over Halloween, that will be our first major event. Towards the end of November, we'll have a Black Friday event. This is always insane, and this is when we see the first major market crash within Ultimate Team due to EA releasing lightning rounds. This is where EA will release content every single hour. New packs, new SBCs, new objectives, and they'll only be there for a very limited amount of time. The amount of packs that get opened on this day is absolutely ridiculous. An increase in the amount of people opening packs increases the amount of players on the transfer market and forces player prices down. From here, we then go into December, where there's normally a festive or Christmas promo. In January, we normally have Team of the Year. And then there'll be various other promos in between Team of the Year going all the way to the end of the year, where once we start to get into April, May, June, July, we go through months long of Team of the Season promos. With each and every single one of these are great times to trade because of the distractions. The distractions of these major events that most people will consume the content available, making it a lot easier for us to go onto the transfer market, find and pick up all the players that they've been listing way below market value, ready for us to relist them. In fact, it's these types of promos which you can use to your advantage in preparing beforehand, and also take an advantage after they do finally release, that you can then go through the market and build your club. What's really interesting about all of this as a trader is that you can start to implement a weekly routine. And I'm not saying that you need to go through and do an in-depth calendar and just nerd out over a game, because you really don't need to. And of course, it's not going to be fun for most people. However, there are things that you can do on a weekly basis which just take a couple minutes, and this will put you ahead of 99% of players. For example, every single Wednesday before a new team of the week is released, I will go through and buy players from that previous team of the week. By doing this, I'm getting one of each and storing them to my club. Each player being valued anywhere between 10 to 20,000 coins. Now by themselves, it doesn't sound like too much. This will start to build up over a long period of time where I suddenly have millions of coins worth of these team of the week players. Now, why do I do it? Well, as time goes on, these players start to get extremely rare because people will buy these team of the weeks and use them within SBCs. And once they use them within SBCs, they're gone. They're gone forever. There is no supply for these players because they have been taken out of packs. So as time goes on, these players that I bought for 10,000 coins will suddenly be worth 15,000, potentially 20,000, all depending how long I hold on to them. This is just part of a weekly routine that you can go through. And this is just something that takes a few minutes every single week. You could also do the exact same thing as you're going through the weekend league and everyone else is playing their games and claiming their rewards. You can still be playing your games, but in between you can also be going for a bulk bidding method, as those who go and open their packs get some very low rated players, but they're listing below market value. Spend just 5 minutes in between each game to bid on those players and then list them back onto the transfer market. By the time the weekend league finishes, it's extremely likely that you would have made more coins from you trading than you playing games and claiming your rewards. Unless you get extremely lucky, but yeah, again, the odds are stacked against you. As mentioned earlier, just because we've highlighted the best times to trade during the week and also throughout the year, doesn't mean that you just wait for those. If you are not available for those times, it's still worth trading. You may not be able to get as many deals and they might not be as good, but it's just about chance. If you're in the right place at the right time, you can still find some amazing deals within Ultimate Team. It just so happens that it's a bit easier with the times that have been mentioned within this video. If you enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend clicking the next video on screen. That video goes through the correct way in which you should be grinding draft. Draft can be a very rewarding game mode, but it can also be a complete sweatfest if you're going online. So that video breaks down the most efficient way in which you can always get the best rewards. I hope you enjoy.